don't come for peace, I come for the storm. Fanboys melt quick when the truth gets warm. Saw content's high, I'm collecting those tears. Just got started, but I'm cutting through fears. I'm not here for brand deals, I'm not for sale. I expose your lies, rip off the veil.
Oh boy, we got our favorite Nintendo fanboy furry all at it again, sitting there all excited over people getting their Nintendo Switch 2 bans. Let's get into it.
Nintendo Switch 2 online bans keep on coming. People keep on getting upset about it. You love to see it because everyone that's upset about this is not a Nintendo fan.
Yeah, I think you, of all people, have no room to sit here and say who is a Nintendo fan. You seem more like you're just nothing more than a Pokemon fan. I don't think I've ever seen another video where you've done another game besides Pokemon.
They are just worthless. They can't exist without piracy because they have no value to contribute to society.
And you do? The only thing you contribute to society is furry addictions.
And the funny thing is, it's completely justified when you actually get into how the MIG Switch works.
No, it is not justified. It is not justified for a corporation to damage someone else's property, because that's essentially what they're doing. If they sit there and ban your Switch from going online, essentially the thing is useless. It's pretty much bricked without actually saying it, because if you need an update patch for the game, you're not going to be able to connect online to get the damn thing. So essentially it's useless, especially when they're doing something that's completely legal.
So this comment and further research made me realize, yeah, everyone upset about this or defending the MIG Switch has no idea what they're talking about.
No, I don't think you know what you're talking about. Actually, I don't even think I know you don't know what you're talking about. Just go watch your damn videos. The problem is you're just jealous that you have to pay a overprice for that game and get blown out by Doug Bowser himself.
Just going to ignore that the MIG Switch is technically not legal since you're essentially copying the game to another game card, which is considered a form of pirating.
If you don't own the game, then sure, it might be considered a form of pirating. But if it is your game, you own it, you can copy it as much as you want to.
Just like burning CDs back in the day was technically pirating.
No, it was not. I remember those days because I used to burn CDs. We all, well, maybe not all, but a bunch of us used to burn CDs. If someone gives me a CD and says, here, you can have this, and I own that CD and I decide to make a copy of it because we all know how much those CDs got damaged back in the day, we own the CDs. We were perfectly legally able to do so. What made it illegal was to burn another CD and then go sell it.
Now, if you made CDs for yourself and used them, no one was going to come after you and they didn't even know what was happening. But it's when you started distributing it...
Well, it's pretty much still the same way nowadays, even when you want to look at video games. I don't know of a single case of somebody using an emulator and going to prison for it. Can someone please tell me down in the comments if anybody has ever gone to prison for downloading a ROM and using an emulator? Can you let me know? And then I will gladly tell people, hey, stop doing this. You can go to prison.
That you really get into serious law breaking. But that goes into the whole thing people talk about, like, well, I'm allowed to have a second copy.
Yes, you are, if you own it.
Let's see what the law says about it. Flashbang warning.
Just so you know, I am not a lawyer of any kind, so none of this is going to be legal advice.
So yeah, can I back up my computer software under certain conditions provided by Section 117 of the Copyright Act? Although the precise term is archival copy, not backup copy, these terms are used interchangeably. Under Section 117, you or someone you authorize may make a copy of an original computer program if the new copy is being made for archival purposes only.
And when I sit there and Google it right now, it says in the US under Section 117 of the Copyright Act, it is generally legal to create a backup copy of a Nintendo Switch game for archival purposes, such as in case of damage or loss of the original cartridge. However, sharing or distributing these backup copies is illegal and considered piracy. So you can play it still. It literally says as a backup in case you damage it. So if you back it up and your cartridge gets damaged, guess what? You have a copy right there that you can play.
And this is why Nintendo is banning you from online, which is a light slap on the wrist compared to what they should do for your violation of copyright law. It's no longer a backup.
It's not a violation of copyright law. And no, that is not a light slap on the wrist. You want to know why? Because if they sit there ban your system from going online, it's essentially the same as bricking it, because if you can't go online, you can't get the update patch, that means you can't play any of the newer games.
If you're actively playing on it while having a fully functional game cartridge that you copied from, that the archival copy is supposed to be if the original is damaged, lost, otherwise unusable, degrading, or something like that.
And how do you know if the person using that MIG Switch thing didn't have that happen to them? How do you know if their original copy didn't get damaged? You don't know what you're talking about. You're making speculations.
So it kind of defeats the purpose of the MIG Switch unless you just kind of like dump games onto it and then you hold it for when the original is lost, and then you're technically legally allowed to use it at that point.
And what, you don't think that that's happened before?
You are not permitted under Section 117 to make a backup copy of other material on a computer's hard drive, such as other copyrighted works that have been downloaded.
And the rest of the part that he highlighted said music and films, which you are allowed to legally back up a copy of a physical copy of the music or the film and have that as a backup copy. That is completely illegal. So again, what you're sitting there saying is probably taken out of context. I'm going to take a wild guess that it's talking about something that you do not own or something that you've had to have downloaded to begin with.
So this is where, like, oh, if I own the game, I'm not allowed to download a separate ROM. That's just straight up piracy. So you have to make your own copy. And in my video, I said, yeah, this is extra bad because that requires hacking the Switch.
It's your Switch. If you can't back up and make a copy of the game itself, that is Nintendo's fault. Maybe Nintendo should allow you to do that with your own property. They don't own the system. Hey, you know what? If they don't want you to use it, and let's say they ban it, they should have to give you the money back and reimburse you for the cost of that Switch.
And that's also where we find more issues with the MIG Switch, because people are saying, oh, people use the MIG Switch dumper. If you use that, that means your copy is definitely pirated.
It is not illegal to hack your Switch. It probably is illegal to hack Nintendo server, that is very true. But to hack your Switch, you bought it, you own it. They don't have a right to tell you what you can and cannot do with your Switch. So if you want to hack the Switch because Nintendo does not give you a way to back up your legally copied games onto a computer, then you know what? That is Nintendo's fault. That is not our problem. If people want to sit there, hack their Switch to be able to back up their games, it is completely legal. Stop defending these greedy POS corporations already.
Because it has to strip copy protection to work. And that's probably why so many people are getting busted, because they think, oh, this is going to be a legitimate copy from the MIG Switch dumper.
Those protections, it is not illegal to get through them because you own that Switch. It is yours. How hard is this for you to understand? Now, with Nintendo not allowing you to go onto their servers, it's not illegal for them to do that. It is morally wrong that they're doing it, but it's not illegal.
It's like, no, this is just like straight up an illegal copy because it violates DMCA and strips copy protection, and then Nintendo can easily detect that.
It doesn't matter. It's not a illegal download or an illegal copy because you own the rights to both of the things. Do you not understand that? You own the game, you own the system. It's your property. If you want to back up and make a copy, it's none of Nintendo's business.
Which is why they have every right to restrict functions of your Switch, because you are violating their software license. Yeah, you own the hardware.
And you know what? They're violating and breaking gamer rules. Are you going to sit there and go after them now?
The hardware ain't really that useful without the actual firmware on it, which is what you're opting into.
Well, no shit. I didn't know that. Nobody didn't know that. Who cares, Mike? I get to the point already.
You are breaking the terms of the game software and the console software, which is why they have every right to do this to you. And again, that's a slap on the wrist instead of just hard bricking your console.
It's essentially the same damn thing. So they're saying, oh, it's just a slap on the wrist. If you can't sit there and get online to download the update, and let's say the game is like broken and needs the update to work or the update to play better, you're screwed.
For game piracy. So let's see what else is going on back here. No one enforced it, so to combat this, Nintendo has coding to detect such things, and this is the result. If you own the games already, what's the point of going the extra mile to have them all on one card to save 10 seconds to swap the cards out?
It doesn't matter if it saves you time or not. If that's the way you want to do it, then you should be legally allowed to do so.
And again, that just kind of goes into like the weirdness and uselessness of the MIG switch from this entire legal perspective. And where the MIG switch crosses the line is turning it into an identical functional cartridge.
And again, who cares? This guy's driving me crazy. I can't continue on with this guy. I'm done. Well, that's going to be it for my reaction. Let me know down in the comments if you agree with me or not. Please like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, stay vigilant.
You can cry in the comments, but you won't survive. Like and subscribe if you feel that vibe. We're hot and salty